What's going on, everyone? Keith here, Two Guys How To. It's getting near the evening, but I'm going to try to hurry up and get a fuel pump in this 1995 GMC Topkick. I wanted to put a inline fuel filter and replace the fuel filter that's on inline, but you can't on this particular unit. On the 94 95s, they're running about 40 psi on the fuel pump, so it has to stay immersed down in the gas tank. So we've got one there. It's a 14 psi, but it's not enough for this truck. I went ahead and moved the fuel filter up underneath the wheel well right here. You can see it right there. So we're good to go there. Next, I'm just going to drop this big tank, take the tank out, disconnect the wires from this fuel pump, and go back to a stock fuel pump that's pumping out enough to run this throttle body injection on this truck. So I had one plan, but after nobody could tell me at Criswell and Chevrolet and all this that they didn't know, I had to dig into it a little further and kind of figure it out on my own, that these trucks need about 32 to 40 psi of fuel pressure. On the videos you watch online, everyone's like, oh, you know, 9 to 14, 9 to 13 is perfect. No, that's certain years. 94, 95, they had higher fuel pressure. Then after those years, they went down in fuel pressure because they started changing up the injectors and the regulators started working and all that good stuff. So let's get started. I'm gonna strip this thing down real quick. It's got these straps underneath this beauty cap here. I don't know if I'm gonna take this lid off first and take this beauty cap off. I'm gonna see if I can just get underneath. And it's got these two belt straps that go around the tank like that. You'll see it, the bolts, when you go underneath there. I'm gonna loosen those up and just try to pull that tank back a little bit, maybe about a foot or two, and get down into these hoses, the electrical connections, and these push fittings. And we've got a couple clamps there because I bypassed the standard fuel filter because I hate those inline fuel filters. If I can get that out enough past the door, then we mean business. So let me go ahead and get this thing pulled off, and I'll show you after that how to go ahead and put the stock fuel pump back in these if you're just have one that went out and you just need to swap it. So I'm gonna get busy, do what I need to do, and not bore you with that, and then I'll show you how we can pop. Once we get all those hoses, I'll show you how to get the hoses out and take that cap off and actually physically get down into this gas can, the gas tank where the sending unit is that floats, and that gives you your register of your full, empty, or whatever on the dashboard. So let me do my thing and I'll be back. All right, guys, so I'm up underneath the truck right now, and you can see that bracket, that belt bracket I was talking about. This is the bolt right here. Hopefully it's zooming in on it and not getting my finger. And just unloosen these. We've got some anti-seize grease on these, so they're very easy. I unloosened a little bit. There's one there, and there's one right there. And I also forgot to say, after you undo the two bolts that are underneath for the belt straps, if you're looking at it, I'm underneath here. This is the side of the gas tank behind the driver's seat. This is the gas tank, and you got these pins right here. They push through, and there's a cotter pin on the other side. Take that off in the washer and pull these out with some needle nose, and then you'll be able to, once you pull these out, then those belt straps, you can see them right there. The belt straps will come and pop up out of it. And if you're doing this by yourself, June's not here today. I have my hips, you can see right there underneath this gas tank. So I'm gonna pop it up and I'm gonna pull this pin right on out. And there goes your belt strap right there. There's two of them, one on that side, one right there. And you got these big cotter pins. So let me pull this tank off and get inside here. All right, so I got the bolts unloosed, and I think I'm gonna still have to take this cover off of here, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. And on these fuel clamps, you just see the clear part right in the front there. There's a clear part and a black part. Just push those two clears in like that and pull back on that tube, and it'll come right on out, boom. And just remember which one. Take some pictures, and you can see it's starting to leak a little bit of gas. That's why I didn't undo it at first. And there's another hose clamp back there on ours because we've been in here before and kind of altered things to get that inline fuel filter right. And we've got another one over here. I can show you real quick on the clear ones. Sometimes you can spin the tube a little bit and pinch them in, and then just push back on it. And boom, it'll come right out. And just leave the clear parts on. Don't bust them off, don't pry them out, don't push them in too hard, just push them in like that on each side, even pressure, and then pull the black part off. So I'm gonna get busy. I'm gonna pull this tank back out of here. If I have to, I'm gonna take the step off and the beauty cap off the outside that we have on this tow truck gas tank, and let's get in that sending unit real fast. Let's see if we can get this tank off. Now that we got the belt straps off, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it back a little bit. There's a drain plug under there. I'm gonna see if I can get it underneath there. Sometimes you can put a jack or block of wood here. I'm actually gonna probably pull this whole dang thing down. I got Tony coming by to help. He can help me, but he's not gonna be here that long. So actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and put my toolbox underneath of it for now until I go get a cinder block. I'm gonna slam that right there. That right in there like so. Maybe I can get the toolbox underneath the whole thing real fast. That's beautiful right there. Boom. So now we've got easy access to those fuel lines I was showing you. You got your pinch clips here. You can see they're clear. I painted them black because I just painted the tank. Pinch them in, pull them off. Pinch them in, pull the black one off, and just keep going. So let's get down into here and get out of here. I disconnected the electrical wire that goes in there. So let's get in here and see what's going on. All right, so I've got I think this is a 13 millimeter. I'm just gonna take these off. I unloosened them already. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them total. And they have washers. I put some lock washers on a few. I've changed some studs out on these that broke or that were worn off and broke out. These washers, I just painted it yesterday, so some of them are kind of stuck in there. We're gonna go ahead and leave those stuck on there. And we're just gonna wiggle this little sending unit out. It's actually got this big, huge washer. It's kind of like a pull down ring. It pulls down your gasket. They come with a brand new gasket, so what happens is this just pushes down on that gasket on the gas tank right there, and done deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out real quick to show you guys how easy it is. And you've got your 2 tabs that are right here. You can see 1 and 2, and it fits right down into these 2 other holes, these 2 smaller holes on this ring. There's one here and there's one there, and that's where those tabs sit, and it locks it in like that. So it's pretty simple. Just take some pictures of it and you pull this sending unit up out of here. I went ahead and altered this truck. I'm taking it back to the stock 40 PSI, and your fuel pump would normally be right in here, right in this section. This would be taken off. Your fuel pump would be sitting right down in here like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to put it back together. It's the same thing with these clamps. We're gonna take the strainer off the bottom that I have. Here's your sending switch. This sends the current to the dashboard to tell you whether it's full. And you've got your original wires that I still left up in here. I told June let's leave them. And they'll plug in right into this fuel pump that you can see right here. This is what it looks like, a little teeny torpedo. So it'll plug in like that. It'll actually sit down through this canister, the bottom right there. So let me go ahead and get everything organized, and we'll put this thing together. Okay, you guys, so I put back together the original fuel pump assembly that comes out of these 1994-95 GMC Topkicks. You got your bottom sock. This is actually a filter. This will come off. You just take a screwdriver and pry it. This is your actual fuel pump with the insulation. The new kit comes with the insulation. And you're just gonna unplug the wire there. Bring this fuel pump up and out of here like so, and it's got a rubber boot on the bottom that cushions it for vibrating down inside this little hole right here on the stainless steel frame. And you just loosen up one of these clamps right here with a Phillips head or whatever kind of clamp you guys have, and I undid this one already. So let's just go ahead and take this all the way off. Be careful not to bend your sending unit part right here. And all we need is this little hose. That's all we really need off of this. This is the old fuel pump. Came with the brand new one. We're good to go. We're gonna check the 2 terminals. The same. We're gonna match them up. This one is actually a different company. I can't remember what it is, but I went with the original hardcore one. They're about the same size. They're very, very similar. So, and they're 2-prong, and the clip looks the same. So we're good to go. I'm gonna go and start breaking this down. First, I'm gonna get my little insulator cup that goes around this thing, which is, it can be a little bit of a work to muscle this on. It's kind of like an insulator. It keeps it cool. Believe it or not, these fuel pumps are down inside the gas, and the gas keeps the fuel pumps cool. So sometimes I don't want to spray a lot. I'm going to spray a little bit of WD-40, or you can use soapy water or something like that. Just enough to get down in there, just to help me push this up on top there, because it is already starting to get stuck on there. Let's see if we can get it up on top there the way it should go. You just got to muscle it little by little, but you don't want to crack this top or anything. I heard something move. Hopefully it's okay. It's getting late. It's going to start getting dark. So we'll see what happens. If not, I'll pull this dang tank off again, and CarQuest or Advanced Auto can give me a new fuel pump. So I'm not feeling this thing. I already don't like the way the top moves on it, but it is what it is unless you go with stock OEM. This one is it's a CarQuest brand, which, you know, whatever. But it's an E as in Edward 219652. And this strainer sock, which is an additional $6 that goes on the bottom of this, is a Frank, F as in Frank, S as in Sam, 260354. So let's stay focused to get this insulator up on here the best we can. I don't know why they just don't do that at the factory. They know you have to put it on anyway. So we've got that on, and it's pretty good. Take this bottom part off. It comes with a brand new anti-vibration thing. Just make sure that this is in the right way, and it should be seated down in there. And you can see it's kind of oblong to where it lets the fuel in. So I'm going to flip it both ways and see which way feels better. They both feel a little hokey to me. You're going to want to put this side right here, the high side up, because it's going to go down inside and seat itself inside here. I'm not really liking the way that this whole fuel pump is, but whatever. That's how it sits, and I'm just going to get it done. I'm not going to complain about the products and quality anymore. So let's go ahead and get this. Be careful not to bend this. We'll just go ahead and lay this down in there the way that I said it, the way that it sits in there the best. And let's get this little piece of fuel line on here. And make sure it's seated down on there now, you know. And I'm just going to go ahead and tighten that one clamp down to make sure it stays on there and stays in place. And I'm using fuel line or fuel pressure. Fuel injector clamps. Normally I use stainless steel. I don't know if I have any stainless ones that are that small right now, and I just want to get this thing done. So that's good to go. Let's go ahead and put this up on there like so. And we're gonna just kind of flex this frame and just get that bottom part of that fuel pump down in there. And like I said, it's a hokey design. I don't know, but they've been working for years and years. These things last a good long time. And we're gonna get it centered in there like that. And I might even just have to bend that a little bit prior to putting it back in. It moves a little bit, but that's your vibration. I'm gonna pull this out a little bit. And actually bend it up. We've been in here so many times. I'm just gonna tweak it just a little bit. Okay, get this back in there. And then once I get it, if yours is moving around a little bit like mine is, we'll just go ahead and pull this part of the fuel line down. We'll pull the fuel pump down and seat it and kind of keep it tugged down. I'm gonna try to push the fuel pump up as high as I can. And then make sure this is still seated down there, because you want flow and we want to get that sock on there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this whole fuel pump down into place. Yep, and that's nice right there. So what I'm gonna do is pull that thing down, tighten this clamp. Fuel pump is on. I'm gonna keep a little bit of pressure down on it. Snug those down pretty good. You don't want to have a leak there, but you don't want to over tighten it and break the clamps. So we're good right there. And we're ready for that sock. It kind of looks like a tampon and it just snaps right in there. You can see the hole like that goes in there and it's like a pinch. Once it's on there, it should just sit on there and stay on there. You got to push it up on there pretty good. Watch out, don't break anything while trying to install it. Just go ahead and snap it up on there, boom. And that thing is good. That's gonna absorb all your gas. It's gonna filter out like a coffee filter, all the micron stuff. And this will stay kind of moist all the time. So when that pump kicks on, when you turn the key on, it's gonna kick on, then it's gonna stop, and then it's gonna start again once the vehicle's running. This will keep fluid going to that, which will keep this plenty inside lubricated, because believe it or not, these are staying lubricated and cooled, but from the gas. So let's just go ahead and plug this wire right back on in there, and you should hear it click. Boom, and we're good to go. Came with an O-ring. You can see the old O-ring has a little bit of rust around the edges. It comes with 2 O-rings. We only need the one that fits, so we're gonna throw out that smaller one. It comes with extra wire. We don't need that. It comes with some other clips and a replacement clip if your clip here is broken, if you've got another application. But you can see I've already cut into this and shrunk wrap all this. You can solder it first, then shrink wrap it, and then we've done this before, so this one's pretty much ready to rock and roll. And that's gonna go down in there like so. We're gonna remember that our orifices all go towards that cab, the driver's door, and it looks pretty good. I'm gonna double check everything. Everything looks good. So let's go ahead and put this O-ring. We're gonna slide that O-ring. It's actually gonna go down underneath this to seal it. But you can put it on right on top of the gas tank like this. So we're gonna go ahead and get back to this gas tank. Take this towel off, set that O-ring right there. Make sure there's no dirt or debris. Let's put the sending unit down in through there and get that little, you can spin this, see if you can spin that filter on the bottom to match up with the sending unit. Kind of bend it in there. And remember, we want this whole thing facing the cab, and we want that hold down ring. Remember, it had those 2 holes that went in those 2 little notches on the fuel pump. So let's just go ahead and lift that up gently and slide it over. And let me look underneath one more time just to make sure the gasket's where I want it. Yep. And I'm gonna double check, make sure the gasket is where in fact we need it. Kind of move this around a little bit. It looks pretty good, everything's locked in. And this will pinch down on that O-ring and this will be sealed up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these nuts back on, and I'm gonna just snug them down, and then I'm gonna tighten them in a crisscross pattern. So I'll start here, go to the bottom, start at the top, bottom, and keep going like that, like a star. And then this will be all tightened down, ready to go. I'm gonna push this puppy back up on there, get those fuel lines on there, and this thing should start right up. And these are the 2 tabs I'm talking about on that fuel pump lid, the fuel assembly lid. These 2 tabs go into these 2 vacant holes, and then all the rest should have washers and lock washers. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put those back on, tighten this down in a crisscross pattern like I was stated before, and we're good to go. So let me get this tightened up, and let's get this thing started up and get the tank mounted back up. All right, guys, so we're done. This thing's buttoned up. I just got the 1 cover plate to put over the mission canister there, and this thing will be ready to head on down the road. So I showed you everything you need to know as far as this, the GMC Topkick, the fuel pump, in-tank fuel pump. If you've got a regular car, it's a little bit more difficult because the gas tank is underneath the car. just drop that gas tank down, use a jack, drop it down, or that way if you got the weight of the gas in there, get it down, disconnect those fuel lines, drop it down a little bit, disconnect those fuel lines, and bring that whole gas tank out, and it'll come out the same way. Some of these, this particular one has the bolts that we showed you. Some of them have a cap, and it's got little lips around it, and you just got to take a screwdriver and bang it and hit that, and it'll kind of come apart. It's like a pinch clamp type system of a twist turn. So I'm done. I got to clean up. You can see I got my tools and everything up here, and I'm out of here. So check out the other videos. Maybe they'll help you out. Something we fixed or we worked on might help you out, or just fun to watch. So I'm done. It's Saturday. I'm going to take my Nova up to this car show for a quick second, rumble up there through town, and then I'll come back and get into something else. But Keith, Two Guys How To, thanks for checking the channel out. Check out the other videos, and hit me up if you have any questions or comments or something else you're working on. Just because we haven't shot it on a video doesn't mean we don't know how to fix it. So I'm out. See ya. What's up, Iggy? Talk to him before I shut the video down. Oh yeah. Yep. You're not a pig, you're a lawyer. He's not a pig, he's a lawyer. Peace.
I'm not a pig, I'm a lawyer.